Hey there. Ready to unlock some serious potential?
I'm in.
Today's deep dive is all about the power of asking.
Asking.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about asking where the bathroom is. This
Right.
is about asking the kind of questions that can change your life.
It's true. It's amazing how such a simple act can be so transformative, right?
Absolutely. We're diving into a book called Ask: The Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny.
Okay.
And it's packed with stories about people who use the power of asking to achieve some incredible things.
Wow.
But it's more than just stories.
Okay.
It's about understanding the strategies behind those questions and how we can apply them to our own lives.
Exactly. It's about understanding that asking the right questions can help us identify and nurture hidden talents, not just in ourselves, but in others too.
This deep dive begins with Michaela's journey. Now, you might be thinking, why should I care about a fictional quarry worker?
Right.
Well, she uses her resourcefulness and the power of asking to become the kingdom's headmistress of education.
Wow.
Her story highlights a crucial point: the power of asking the right questions.
Okay.
It's not just about asking for what you want, it's about asking questions that unlock possibilities for everyone.
What's fascinating here is that Michaela's journey wasn't just about her ambition. It was about seeing the potential in others.
Right.
By asking the right questions, she helped them shine and in turn transformed her own life.
So how do we learn to ask those kinds of questions? Are there magic words or something?
That's where the book's 3 channels of asking comes in.
Okay.
Asking yourself, asking others, and asking a higher power.
We'll definitely delve into those, but first, I have to hear more about asking others. The book mentions a real estate agent, Pat, who landed a huge deal just by asking one powerful question.
Right. Pat was showing a client a property, and instead of just sticking to the usual script, she asked if he was interested in the entire neighborhood. It turns out he was thinking even bigger than that.
Wow, that's bold. I guess sometimes we limit ourselves by not even considering the possibilities.
Exactly. That's what's so insightful about this story. Pat's question wasn't just about that one deal. It was about understanding her client's bigger vision. It's a strategy you can use in your own life. Instead of focusing on individual transactions or requests, think about the bigger picture. What are the underlying needs or desires?
So it's about asking questions that uncover those hidden motivations, those bigger aspirations that people might not even realize they have. That's a real game changer. Don't self-censor, just ask. But what about when fear gets in the way? You know, that feeling that holds you back from asking for what you want.
Right. The book offers a powerful reframe for dealing with the fear of failure. See rejection not as a full stop, but as a redirection.
That really resonates with me. I often find myself hesitating to ask for things because I'm afraid of the no. But this idea of reframing rejection, of seeing it as a stepping stone, that's powerful.
It is. It's about shifting your perspective. Each no is just information. It's not a reflection of your worth.
Okay.
And sometimes those no's lead you to an even better yes. Think of it as a course correction rather than a dead end.
So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? We should ask, what can I learn from this? Or what's the next step? I like that. What else stood out to you about this idea of conquering fear?
Well, the book shares a story about Bailey, who struggled to ask for help.
Yeah.
He saw it as a sign of weakness. For example, at the airport, he refused help navigating, assuming he knew what he was doing.
Oh.
He ended up missing his flight.
Oh no, we've all been there, right? Trying to do it all on our own, even when it's pushing us to the edge.
Yeah, Bailey's story shows how refusing to ask for help can create unnecessary challenges. Asking isn't weakness, it's self-awareness. Sometimes we need to swallow our pride and acknowledge that we need support.
Absolutely. And sometimes asking for help leads to unexpected connections. The book tells the story of Anita, a homeless woman, who approached Crystal in a parking lot. Now, instead of just asking for money, she offered help loading groceries.
And that simple act of offering help opened the door for a deeper connection. Crystal got to know Anita, and eventually she was able to offer support in return.
That's a beautiful example of how asking, or in this case offering help, can create a sense of shared humanity. It breaks down barriers and allows for genuine connection. It sounds like asking is as much about building relationships as it is about getting specific things we want. Where do we even begin in our personal lives with our partners, friends, or family?
The book uses a really interesting phrase. Questions can lead to intimacy.
Oh.
It highlights research showing that couples who ask each other increasingly probing questions feel closer.
Interesting.
These aren't surface-level questions. They're designed to uncover deeper values, dreams, and even fears.
So it's not just about asking, how was your day?
Right.
It's about asking the kind of questions that make people really think and open up. What kind of questions are we talking about?
Think about questions like, what are you most grateful for in your life right now? What's your biggest fear about our relationship? What's one dream you have that you haven't shared with me yet? These questions spark meaningful conversations and create a sense of shared vulnerability.
It's like you're building a stronger foundation for the relationship by being willing to go there, to explore those deeper places together.
Exactly. And it reminds me of Arne and Audra's story from the book.
Okay.
They talked about how important it was to ask about each other's passions and values early on in their relationship.
Yeah, it wasn't about finding someone who, like, checked boxes on a list.
Right.
It was about understanding the why behind those choices. I love that. It's about really seeing each other, connecting on a deeper level. And that takes effort, especially in our busy world,
It does.
but it's so worth it.
It is. And, the book also talks about this other channel of asking
Nice.
asking ourselves the tough questions.
This is where it gets really interesting. We've been talking about asking others, but what about turning that inquiry inward? What kind of questions should we be asking ourselves?
The book highlights the importance of asking why things are the way they are, why we believe what we believe, why we make the choices we do. It can be deeply revealing. Think about questions like, what am I most afraid of? What's holding me back from pursuing my dreams? What is one thing I can do today to live more in alignment with my values?
It's like holding up a mirror and being really honest about what we see. We often look outside ourselves for answers, but what if the answers we seek are already within us? What if asking ourselves the right questions could unlock our potential?
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
It's about becoming conscious creators of our own lives, and it starts with asking those tough but essential questions. And this idea of asking why isn't just limited to personal growth. It's crucial in decision-making, too.
Oh, absolutely. The book mentions this example of a city council that failed to ask, like, a critical question. They were deciding what to do with this, like, beloved natural space, but they never actually asked the community what they wanted.
It's a classic example of how not asking the right questions can lead to major conflict. They assumed they knew what was best.
And it backfired. Citizens organized protests to save the preserve. It could have been avoided if they had simply asked, what do you want for the future of this land?
Exactly. It's about respecting the voices of those who are affected by our decisions, whether it's our families, our communities, or even our colleagues at work. Asking those crucial questions can make all the difference.
It's about recognizing that we don't have all the answers,
Right.
and that listening is just as important as asking.
That's a really important point. The book talks about active listening, paying attention not just to the words someone is saying, but also to their body language, tone of voice, and emotions.
So it's not just about hearing, it's about understanding. But it's so easy to get caught up in our own thoughts, right? Do you have any, like, tips for becoming a better active listener?
Absolutely. The book suggests making eye contact, asking clarifying questions to make sure you understand, and even summarizing what you've heard.
It's about creating that safe space for open and honest communication, and that takes practice and intention, but the rewards are huge. Speaking of rewards, this reminds me of Rita Davenport's story from the book.
Oh, yeah.
She had this dream of turning her cooking show into a national franchise, but she faced a lot of rejection early on.
It would have been easy for her to give up, but she was persistent. She kept asking, kept refining her pitch, and ultimately found investors who believed in her vision.
Her story is such a powerful reminder that no doesn't always mean never.
Right.
Sometimes it just means not yet.
Exactly. It's about believing in ourselves and our vision, even when others might doubt us, because sometimes those doubts and rejections can make us even stronger.
Yeah.
And yeah, that ties into another powerful concept from the book, visualization.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So it's not just about asking, it's about believing that what we ask for is possible. Tell me more.
The book encourages us to use our imagination to create positive images and feelings around the answers we seek. It's about seeing ourselves achieving our goals, feeling that joy of success, and letting those positive emotions fuel our actions.
So it's not just wishful thinking, it's about creating a clear vision and then using that vision to motivate ourselves to take action. It's like we're creating a blueprint for success, not just in our minds, but in our hearts as well.
Precisely. And this applies to every area of our lives. The book even talks about a woman named J.B., whose husband needed a kidney transplant. The situation seemed hopeless, but she started asking with unwavering faith for a solution.
This is the story where her blood type miraculously changed.
It really is remarkable. Against all odds, she was a match and able to donate her kidney to her husband. Now, I'm not saying that visualization guarantees miracles, but it does highlight the power of belief and the importance of not giving up on what we want.
It's about releasing our need to control everything and trusting that there's a plan, even when we can't see it. And sometimes that surrender is what opens the door to incredible breakthroughs.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another channel of asking.
Yeah.
Asking a higher power.
Whether it's through prayer, meditation, or simply connecting with nature, it's about tapping into that source of love and support that's always available to us.
The book tells the story of a man facing a serious health crisis. He turned to prayer for strength and healing, and even though he'd been given a grim prognosis, he made a miraculous recovery.
Those stories are always so inspiring. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest miracles happen when we let go of our need to control and surrender to something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. It's about having faith, trusting in something beyond our understanding, and being open to possibilities that might seem impossible.
It's about recognizing that we're not alone in this journey.
And, asking a higher power isn't just about asking for things for ourselves. It's also about asking for others, for those who are struggling, for those who need healing, and for the world as a whole.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that by lifting each other up, we're creating a ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond ourselves.
And sometimes asking for help involves simply being willing to receive. The book emphasizes that we often block blessings because we're not open to receiving. It's like we're saying, I don't deserve good things, or I'm not worthy of help.
We put up these walls without even realizing it.
Exactly. The book encourages us to release those limiting beliefs, open our hearts to receive, and trust that we're worthy of all the good that life has to offer.
It's about cultivating gratitude, appreciating the blessings we already have, and being open to receiving even more abundance. And sometimes, receiving involves saying yes to opportunities, even if they're outside of our comfort zones.
That's right. The book tells the story of Mark and Crystal being asked to co-chair a fundraising campaign. They were already busy, but they felt called to say yes.
And it ended up being an incredibly rewarding experience for them.
It was. Their story reminds us that the greatest rewards often come from stepping outside of our comfort zones, taking leaps of faith, and trusting that we're being guided to where we're meant to be.
It's about being open to new possibilities, embracing the unknown, and trusting that the universe has our back.
And speaking of embracing the unknown, the book also emphasizes the power of asking for help.
We've talked about asking friends and family, but what about seeking out mentors or advisors?
Exactly. The book talks about the importance of finding people who have already walked the path we're on. They've learned from their experiences and can offer valuable insights and perspectives.
It's like having a guide on our journey, someone who can help us navigate the challenges and celebrate the victories.
The book tells the story of Nick Delgado, a renowned health and fitness expert who credits a lot of his success to the mentors he had along the way.
His story is so inspiring. He turned his own health challenges into a source of strength and wisdom, and now he helps countless others achieve optimal health.
And it all started with him being willing to ask for help, to seek guidance from those who had already achieved what he aspired to. The book encourages us to reach out to people we admire, ask for advice, and be open to learning from their experiences.
It's like that saying, each one, reach one. By being open to mentorship, we not only help ourselves, but also contribute to a network of support and shared wisdom.
Precisely. And, sometimes those mentors appear in the most unexpected places. The book tells this story about a man struggling to get his book published.
Oh.
Yeah, he's feeling completely discouraged, right?
Okay.
And he received some life-changing advice from a homeless man he met.
Wait, really? What did the man tell him?
He told him to focus on telling a story that would touch people's hearts and to never give up on his dream.
Wow.
The author took that advice to heart, rewrote his book, and it became a bestseller.
Wow.
It was even adapted into a movie.
That's incredible. It reminds us that wisdom can be found in the most unexpected places and that everyone we meet has something to teach us. We just have to be open to receiving it. So we've covered asking ourselves, asking others, but what about that third channel, asking a higher power? What resonated with you about that?
Well, it's a powerful reminder that we're not alone on this journey,
Yeah.
Whether through prayer, meditation, or simply connecting with nature, tapping into a source of love and support is available to all of us.
Yeah.
And asking for help in this way can create incredible results. There's a story in the book about a man facing a serious health crisis. He was given a grim prognosis,
Right.
and he turned to prayer for strength and healing.
And he made a full recovery, right?
Right.
Those stories always leave me in awe.
They really do. It's about surrendering our need to control, having faith, and trusting in something larger than ourselves.
Yeah.
And, it's not just about asking for ourselves, it's also about asking for others, for healing, for guidance, and for the well-being of the planet.
It's about recognizing that we're all connected and that our thoughts, words, and actions have the power to create positive change.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final piece of this asking puzzle.
Right.
Action. Because asking without action is like planting a seed without watering it.
Right.
We have to be willing to take those steps, to do the work, to move towards the vision we're creating with our questions.
So it's not a passive process. It's about aligning our actions with our intentions, showing up consistently, and being willing to put in the effort.
The book talks about setting intentions, breaking down big goals into smaller steps, and celebrating our progress along the way.
This has been incredible. If there's one thing I'm taking away from this deep dive, it's that asking isn't just about getting what we want. It's a way of being, a way of approaching life with curiosity, courage, and a deep belief in our own potential.
I completely agree. It's about understanding that the act of asking, with the right intention and a curious mind, can be a catalyst for positive change in every single area of our lives.
So as you go about your day, here's something to think about. What's one question you've been afraid to ask, but deep down, could change everything if you finally had the answer? What would it be like to finally ask that question and step into the possibilities that unfold?